It slowly destroys the most important organ in your body.
And it not only affects you, but every single person who loves you.
But thankfully, today there are significant positive developments in the fight against Alzheimer's disease.
Let's meet a very special family and learn more about their Alzheimer's journey.
This you can put back in there because we're doing the new spaghetti right in here. You fill that with water, I'll get the frying pan out for the burger, okay?
Yeah. My name is Tim Sullivan, and we've been married for 38 years, and it's been great 38 years. And I got a wonderful partner here who's been a good strength for me when I need her.
My name is Sally Sullivan. I'm married to this guy, Tim Sullivan.
I moved to Seattle, and then I met her. Next thing you know, I asked if she would marry me, and she said yes.
We have a daughter, and I am 68, Tim, early 70s.
I'm 71.
We've started to travel in country in the U.S. We have also traveled to Ireland and Scotland together,
Australia twice.
and a couple times to Australia, and we do it really well. We do play games. We love to watch sports, March Madness. We loved it. We saw 8 teams. I think we saw 8 teams play.
The next thing is I really enjoy being on the course, and I miss that the most.
I would call Tim my memory because he's very precise in everything he does.
I could remember anything. If somebody told me something, it was locked in place. Then all of a sudden, just slowly but surely, it was like, what just happened here? Why can't I remember where I was?
People's names, dates, time, whatever day it was, and it was very concerning. And we first noticed, I guess it was a family night of playing games, that he was shuffling and dealing the cards, and he dealt them backwards. Whoa, wait a minute, what are you? We all just looked at the table and went, what are you doing?
I'll be honest, it scared me. It made me pretty anxious about everything. And I probably was a little bit tough on Sally because I couldn't come to understand what was going on. And then she got me an appointment with Dr. Greeley.
My name's David Greeley. I'm a clinical neurologist. I've been in practice for 30 years in Spokane, Washington.
Oh, hello, Dr. Greeley.
Hi, hello, have a seat. Alzheimer's disease, I think, is so devastating because it really affects not just memory and behavior, but really somebody's identity. It really affects you and your personality. With your history and with your memory loss, and as it's progressed, certainly with your family history, we need to be concerned about the fact that this could be Alzheimer's disease for you.
He didn't tell me right off the bat. He sent me up to do an MRI on my brain, and spinal tap.
Spinal tap, yeah.
I don't know, it was about within a week or so, maybe 2 weeks. He called us up and said, come on down, I want to talk to you.
Thanks for coming back again. Since it was originally diagnosed and described by Dr. Alzheimer back in the early 1900s, there really hadn't been much progress beyond the recognition of what it was after somebody's death. So above and beyond the ability then with an amyloid PET scan to see that people had amyloid plaque in their brain, the potential for being able to do more testing was needed. In 2022 got FDA approval with a test from Fuji Rabio that's able to see that people essentially have amyloid plaque in their brain by testing the fluid.
What we're doing today is we're going to collect some cerebral spinal fluid from your spine. So now we just need to collect CSF, okay?
This test became available. We were able to send the fluid then to a lab, and lumbar punctures can be done all over this country and theoretically all over the world.
Smooth as silk.
Much more simply, and doesn't require what was needed to do an amyloid PET scan. So I have your results here.
The day that he told me about it, I haven't cried for a long time. And I ended up crying for quite some time. I couldn't believe it. It was really hard. I think I was pretty hard on Sally. I think I was a pistol waiting to go off so I could get my anger out of me. And I'm forever grateful that she hung around with me, because she had every reason in the world to walk away from me. And it wouldn't have surprised me, because I was being a jerk.
We can now say quite assuredly that you could potentially qualify for one of those.
He told me about the trial, and he asked me if I'd be interested in getting in. And why would you say no to something like that?
Coming up next, more with this incredible couple.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to The Balancing Act.
Now let's rejoin the Sullivans on their Alzheimer's journey.
We can now say quite assuredly that you could potentially qualify for one of those.
He told me about the trial, and he asked me if I'd be interested in getting in. And why would you say no to something like that?
We really didn't have anything new or novel in the treatment of Alzheimer's disease until the past few years. But as of July of 2023, a FDA-approved drug came out that is different than anything ever before for Alzheimer's disease. And it's called disease modifying because it literally removes the amyloid plaque from people's brains and can actually put somebody into a situation where they no longer have amyloid and theoretically then wouldn't even qualify as having Alzheimer's disease. They're actually removing plaque. They're actually literally changing the makeup of your brain.
Going through the trial was actually very good for me to keep focused on what my life is about.
It's a great relief to be able to know that they're making leaps and bounds.
Good to see you.
Thank you
Sally,
so much.
absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. I think we're at that verge, that hub, like I say, in early 2024, where we're soon to have FDA-approved blood tests, and those blood tests will then tell us that we have Alzheimer's disease, and that then will give us the impetus, I hope, to go find a physician who is doing research for other agents to provide even more than what these great drugs are already doing of removing amyloid plaque. This is not something that is for everyone. People have memory loss. We all have memory loss. Kids have memory loss, and you can't worry about that. What we're worrying about is somebody that's had progressive memory changes or personality changes that we can't explain by anything else. So again, if you've had it due to a head injury or from drinking alcohol or you're depressed, that's not probably Alzheimer's disease, but you can have both. So it gets tricky. And under age 65, it's probably not Alzheimer's disease, but it can be. And if it's under age 65 and it runs in your family, that means that generally more than half the people in your family have it, and they all got it before they were 65. So what we're looking for are people that are 70 or 75 or more who have memory loss or can't do what they used to do. They can't remember how to drive to a certain part of town, or they get lost more easily, or they have a change in their behavior. We want to see people at an early stage. And certainly in research, we're seeing things and moving towards areas where we're going to make much more headway, I think, on this disease over the next coming years.
We've had our moments, and when I see him, that's when I start feeling way worse about myself, because she's as strong as anybody I've ever seen. And if I can bring her to tears, then it hurts me deeper inside.
I've never heard you say that before.
Save it for a surprise.
Never heard that one. I think that also the drug trial that we were going through together, kind of gave us a little bit of hope. But now I have to step up and plan to go to dinner, go to meet friends for dinner, meet friends for lunch. Speaking of teary-eyed, I'm starting to leak. And so I've had to take a bigger role in just day-to-day things. keeping us busy so that we're not just sitting around watching TV, that we are actually being active. Like I said, we've organized a few trips to go to also. He would keep track of time because he's a numbers guy, so he would keep track of when the flights and where they were leaving from. And I was more into wanting to go find something to eat.
That's a true statement.
We just have to keep going to get out and do things, visiting, seeing sports. We're having to find new projects to do together because of the decline, I would say, in his memory and his brain.
If I had to do it over again, I'd try to talk differently. I was angry at myself, and I took it out on her. I know she's had Parkinson's, and she just was lucky enough to get her DBS and made her new again. And I knew there was no new again for me.
Thanks for telling me that. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, it only took us how many years?
Thank you so much. I think this interview is helping us more as a couple than anybody else we're helping. I'm not so sure. This is like he's telling me things I didn't even really know. This is crazy.
I am crazy. I've got the papers to prove it.
Wow.
It's been a great journey. She's been beside me for all this time, and I've been alongside her when she needed me, and I can't tell you how much I love her. I tell her that every day just because I have to hear it to make sure that I'm still me.
Can I give him a kiss right now?
And I was going to get a backhand.
And we're happy to report that the FDA has now approved another drug to treat Alzheimer's disease. So be sure to ask your doctor about available treatment options.
That's right. We'd like to thank our courageous family, Tim and Sally Sullivan, and our specialist, Dr. David Greeley, for joining us today.
And also, here are some very important resources for anyone whose loved one has experienced the changes that Dr. Greeley just described.
Please go to usagainstalzheimers.org and the Alzheimer's Association, ALZ.org.
And as always, you can also head to our website, thebalancingAct.com.